A woman named Dorothy worked as a forensic nurse in a hospital lockup unit. There was an elderly woman in the hospital who swore she was being haunted and tortured by a demon she called Tiberius. A lot of strange activity took place in the hospital while she was there. Nurses would go to her room and do their normal care and leave. But before they can get anywhere, she would scream from the top of her lungs with a scream echoing through the hallways that brought a feeling of terror to the staff. The nurses would go back to the room running and terrified to see what had happened. It always looked like she was fighting for her life in a 12-round boxing match with a boxing champion. She would have a black eye, bloody lip, and marks all over her body, as if someone was trying to rip off her flesh. They would think that she is doing it to herself, but why would she hurt herself that bad? And no one ever saw her do it to herself, so there was no evidence of that. Also, around the room they would find things moved around and some misplaced all by themselves without a valid explanation of how it happened. They couldn't prove it, but they were convinced that she is hurting herself, so at one point they put her in protective restraints. Despite their efforts, they would still find new marks on her body, and her cart would be across the room. There is no possible way she would do anything while placed in this protective restraints, but it still happened anyway. There is no way somebody else was doing this to her because they had secured the room. When they asked her questions about what happened, she would always say it was Tiberius. After the elderly lady was discharged, the unexplained activity continued on. There was going to be a rapid response or code. It happened in that room. Every paranormal activity that was reported in the unit, it was coming out of that room.